some of these powers to the provinces. So I think you may get some of concern because in the past, ministers were abusing their powers, giving ground equal or chronis blongolo. You may public la come some ground, you may no clock simaria. Online only just fly in. Now that's all only clock sim easy access to land. That's true, Mr. Speaker, or Assistant Speaker now. That's true, and you must be concerned about it. But the mechanism to, ensure that doesn't happen is there. Ombudsman is stopped. Fraud squad is stopped. Now you got the ICACO, already stopped. They should do their work. So, but he got some merits where the minister must retain him some of these powers so that him can deal with the customary landowners easily under Section 10, helping him along urban centers under Section 100 special purpose lease. And the special purpose lease, you will get clear, individuals cannot get special purpose. So business line cannot get special purpose. It's only to public purposes or some, hospital or road or school or some community center. And it's most of the time vested to authorities like NCDC or Lay Urban Authority or Kokopo City Authority or Mount Hagen, City Authority or Kainosim. So, Mr. Speaker, may I just give him this clearance or help him, Minister, to explain him, so you may not think of some minister is after new powers. No, these powers are already in the Act, in the Land Act now. It was passed in, when was that? 2016, no? Long time ago, but it was passed by this Parliament. So you may like complain long end, you may get right to complain long end. But we have to go back and amend the Principal Act or remove or repeal those particular clauses, I must long end. But I want to assure everybody that Minister is not bringing new powers that is not already there. I think you may not get scrutiny this long time, so you may worry when we see it now, you may worry long end. I think the side long there's a provision about cannot sell customary land here. I think that's a valid point. It's already law and stopped us all. All man miri all salim ground here to walk illegal kind here and there. So, Mr. Speaker, I think me one bill law, proposal law, member law, he requiring there must be some penalty clause. Penalty against you said buy him. You say it's illegal, now you go buy him. Now you said it's salim. Because the problem is that law line all salim too. So that comes back to the point me talking, Kenya, that government needs to be proactive. I think our people wants to support the government, support development. But you mean not proactive? So all stop now, all thinking now. Me by selling ground here. Because they have no other ways of income. The other thing too that Mr. Speaker or Assistant Speaker may like mention him is that even though this Land Act only covers 3% of the land in PNG, but now you may talk about customary land, but the fact of the matter is that we are accessing customary land through other acts, like Mining Act or Forestry Act or whatever, Agriculture Act. Or, you may get this special mining list when I'm logging whatever permit, kind of thing. So, in fact, customary land is not and customary ownership is not an impediment to development. And it shows that if we negotiate and if we go and sit genuinely with our customary landowners, they will cooperate with the government or developers. But they must be given all the aspects of development or the pros and cons of whatever is going to take place. Then they will make a conscious decision. So, meeting of them, you mean you can rush to much though, convert them all customary land into state land or into a lease. We go and negotiate with them genuinely. And I think our people will, arrive at a win-win outcome. So that's basically my contribution, Mr. Assistant Speaker. Thank you.
Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr.
Assistant Speaker, me like Senap Long, Banisim Tok Tok, you me Tok Tok Tete. In the face of our 50th anniversary, some of these corrective updates in our laws must be made so that you may secure in future block country blimi. Ground something where you may get a sit down logan. No got one block picking it block this block country landless. All of us are linked to a land somewhere in our country. And so Banisim this ground issue is very, very important. I mean, I commend him, Deputy Prime Minister, as well as Minister of Law Ground. I mean, put in plenty of concerted effort into this law work. One can also Governor Bloro, he make him talk also. I mean, work look any creative efficiency, law immigration right now. That is, suppose you go and you like apply long visa block come lo country, it takes us less than or around 2 minutes for a visa to be processed in our, for those who are coming into our country. Again, ICT-based electronic system update. So technology, ICT is now available to assist us. Quick time moving and increase efficiency, eliminating inefficiency in our system. Our relevant ministers, for instance, Minister of Finance has been instructed already. Minister for Public Services also has been instructed. Selection of workman must be ICT-based, artificial intelligence to assist. Tender procurement of goods and services in our country must be ICT-based, artificial intelligence assisted. Eliminating personal preferences and people moving file from office to office. That is many times delayed in us arriving at an efficient system to deliver quality selection choice for NEC to make, or in this instance, land boards to make. Mr. Assistant Speaker, this la reform Lands Minister Ikaram Kamino Rouse in Power Blong Lands Board. Power Blong Lands Board is top yet. But we want to tidy the system in which efficiency is arrived. We deal with land matters at the very earliest. This reform will still run its course in the judiciary. We're working with the Chief Justice Office also to use ICT to drive many of these efficiency that is required in our system. We like asking Parliament, you give him support long, Lands Minister. And if there are other ways where you can look and improve this law, I propose that we establish a bipartisan committee to look into this matter. The reason is simple. This law, you may bring him come today and must, can offend him right long old people. Right long old people must be secured forever. You may now, for instance, you like asking more to go along business, agriculture, or forestry, or fisheries, or real estate, whatever it is. Sit down on top of ground long all. Our people own land. How do we identify them as person, real person, ground block end, so that land could be a bankable land in his or her country? Right now, this ground is not bankable. So we're also working to find ways to make that land bankable for that person. I mean, no need long wait as all and power, oil and gas, or gold, not land of value, no that. Ordinary ground of value, Mr. Me, how much long this reform? For instance, I'm protecting Orlando urban areas. One of the greatest pain I live with is Motu Quaitas losing their land. And I'm happy that this law is able to secure further erosion of limited land they have and giving protections that no one sells or no one buys, and a clan or a person alienated from his or her land forever. So we're trying to tidy this space. Our people and their link to the heritage through land is secured perpetually, and any work in as far as land is concerned is done through a proper way, in most instances lease, and only in few instances, especially when state have to procure for infrastructure, roads, schools, bridges, state can procure, but most land are still organized in a lease manner going forward into the future. This is the greatest asset the independent generation, the Somali generation, has gifted our country. that land is not alienated from our people. The Lands Minister is trying to tidy efficiency in this place, protect our people's land right. And I ask both sides of the House, let's give support to the Minister. And if there are any areas that we feel needs to be further improved in law, from this side of the House as leader of the government, I want to give assurance to members on both sides that we will work together. I think the Lands Committee already is, Parliamentary Committee already is in place, headed by, if I'm not wrong, the member for Hirikwari, pertaining to the fact that people of Hirikwari, people of Motu Koita, have felt the greatest pinch or punch or slap in the face that they've lost many of the land, and we rightfully so, even though he's sitting on the opposite side, we've allowed him to be chair of this committee. Both sides can work and look into this law. If other areas need to be improved, we improve on this. So our people still have access to the land. I want to announce also our government is looking at a policy where properly registered traditional land, you can go and borrow against it and do business, do house, whatever it is. So this is an important precursor to giving value to our people and the land they own as they march beyond 50 years of our nationhood. So I want us at the juncture to support the Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Lands, and further reforms could be on the table as a work for us this year and next year before our 51st. Thank you too much.
The question is that the question be now put. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. The question is that the bill be now read a second time. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. Clerk.
Second reading. Second reading, a bill for an act to amend the Land Act 1996 and for related purposes.
Leave of Parliament to move the third reading forthwith.
Is leave granted? Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Lands and Physical Planning.
Mr. Speaker, I move that the bill be now read a third time.
The question is that the question be now put. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. Deputy Prime Minister, Minister for Lands and Physical Planning.
Thank you, Mr. Assistant Speaker. I would like to thank the House for its support, but at the same time clarify a few issues that have been brought up, and at the same time advise the House that all the issues brought up have been noted and will be taken into serious consideration in any further amendments that we do, including the current ones. I would also like to, before that, congratulate the Deputy Opposition Leader, Honourable James Donald, on his appointment as the Deputy Opposition Leader. I would also like to congratulate Honourable Miring Toro on his appointment and winning of the seat of Central Bougainville. Bougainville is an important place for us, and good place to look him. You come see down here, making mouse for people of Central Bougainville. With a lot of the issues pointed, let me explain a little bit more. All the issues pointed out, but I'd like to commend Governor Pakop for his insight into this. Governor Pakop's insight into this and explanation has ultimately explained what we have been trying to do here. And the issues that Governor Pakop pointed out are constraints that have been facing the Lands Department for a long, long time. In effect, for any improvements, government has taken this seriously. That is why government has appointed the Parliamentary Committee on Lands and has made the Honourable Keith Iduhu, who sits in the opposition, as chairman because of his insight into these sort of things. That is why we appointed the Honourable Keith Iduhu, because
We respect the responsibility that is bestowed on government, so it needs both sides of the House to ensure that we do the right thing by our people, because land is very sensitive and land is very important for our people. So your appointment as a chairman is no coincidence. For the issues, the amendments to the Act, especially on the powers of the Minister to grant, lease, direct, most of these powers are existing. Most of the powers are existing, as Governor Parker pointed out. One I would like to highlight, especially because all explanations have been made, is a lease to be issued following the expiry of an existing state lease. This is especially made, most of these are especially made to fast-track doing business in Papua New Guinea. Most times when it goes and sits before the Lands Department and the Lands Board, it takes up to 1 to 2 years to renew your current existing lease. It is not about a new lease. It is about the current existing lease. Let's say steamships, for example, in downtown Port Moresby, who has a couple of 100 million kina building there. Once it's done, it is an automatic. Lands Board will automatically give that lease. So it makes the process much, much shorter now and makes businesses more confident to do business in Papua New Guinea. It just cuts out the cumbersome process that is entangled in the Lands Department, which I am the first person to acknowledge. This one is not just something that is new. It is something that is to make certain business is done properly, and we give businesses the confidence to do business in Papua New Guinea. Most of these acts and amendments is to solidify what is existing under the current Land Act and the powers bestowed to the Minister. As for Section 10, which Governor Parker once again pointed out, Section 10 is already existing. It is to solidify that. And I would like to commend to you, House, look at Tuhava. That is a perfect example. 585 hectares that belongs to the landowners. The state does not own it. But the state converted that lease in consultation with the landowners, converting 585 hectares, utilized in consultation, and now the people of Roko in Tuhava have now a building in partnership with their development partners, close to 10,000 homes. The first 20 homes have been sold. That development for the first 4,000 homes will constitute, they own part of this, will constitute a 1.6 billion kina return to the people, the landowners themselves, the customary landowners. Government will not take anything out from that. The only thing, the plus is that without any infrastructure input from government, except for policy and subdivision and land board recommendations, the take from government now will be receiving nearly 45 to 50 million kina in returns to state through power, water, land rates at an average of 500 kina per 4,000 or 10,000 homes is about 5 million kina per annum return, with not single one toya into this infrastructure development. It creates homes, puts roofs over heads for people, and it also creates employment for people and leaves ownership with the landowners in their business arm. And it gives them a bankable title, like what Honorable Kerenga Kua pointed out, and I wish he was here to listen to my explanation to him. So it would be nice to explain that. So that it gives commendations to the issues that he brought up. It frees up and guarantees our traditional landowners a good title that is bankable for tenants to use. For protection, the laws to protect traditional customary landowners to sell the land, it is not a bad law. Land is the essence and underlying of all of us. It is to protect our people from themselves. We get a lot of complaints everywhere, including Le Place Plumia too, including especially the people of Motu Koitabu, of people selling land willy-nilly with government which has no control over it. And after consultations with the Honorable Keith Idu in an informal conversation, we have brought that into place to protect our people of Motu Koitabu. So kandre nogan salim lo pipe kina, pikinini nogan salim lo 5,000 kina or 10,000 kina, you le salim, you consult when the government red na salim. You know salim lo light blue na bian suri talk lo lens minister and talk, you sali ground lo me. Em no ground lo mi bla government salim. Customary land on the ground. We are putting in a process to guide the process. So you know can sali lo kongkong, or sali lo naplaman, or sali lo kain man number. Come lo government acquire him, convert him, go good, put him, help him papa ground, so you can see na anta lo ground you for perpetuity. Em lo stop him, you may lo sali ground long number, na bien blaming government, lo disla heavy blaming. So this law, em come lo halibim government, halibim people, so the government can work on them people. Lo you may work him good, na people blame me, you may must look at him all, na sinam good, especially in our urban peripheries, because this plenty complain you may sim all the time. Lo government responsible lo sali ground, customer ground, em ground blue. Em no ground lo government lo mi bakam sali ground blue. Country blue salim, pinging blue salim, bien you should talk lo government. So this law now lo mi plus straight him good, sit down him good. So this law and by protecting people, lo no can salim ground outside nothing. You must salim good, convert him good, work on the government. You let salim straight, you acquire him, go lo government acquire him, convert him go state lease. Na you may work on them online developer na free map ground. It is to protect our people. It is not for land grabbing or anything else. The electronic processes that we have pointed out, Honorable House, Mr. Assistant Speaker, is to also protect against this. We have titles that are duplicate, triplicate, title on top of title, survey on top of survey, kind something on top of something. With the electronic process now, Emba working good through, so by rousing orgara disla or kind passing nungo di come up there. Now also by fast track him, Mr. Assistant Speaker, fast track him disla process blame so you know you miss on 3-4 years, lo working on the land conversion, and by working hurry up. Now you may got proper record, na man in on absani same survey nothing, in on absani title nothing, by got signature stuff inside, Mr. Assistant Speaker. So Mipla can say usat play want all this title, na record, talk lo missing records, na kind something else, you know na come up more. Let me point out, Mr. Assistant Speaker, and to the House, that the start we have done with the Lands Department on electronic payment systems is an example of what can be done. Also, what was pointed out with the Immigration Department. The current, when I took over, the annual collection for the payment system for the total of land in Papua New Guinea, alienated land, was 9 million kina per annum. Today, as we speak, we have surplus 60 million kina per annum in collection. Not by employing new people, not by doing anything, just by doing a proper electronic platform process. Now, line and collection straight, payment straight, something go good. So, consolidated revenue now receives an income directly from the Lands Department, from our people, 60 million kina. We have now moved some of the outstanding debts that is incurred by a lot of major companies that owes the government of Papua New Guinea $500 million in unpaid land leases and rentals, improving those records, and now we are collecting on that. So this year, we are collecting towards a target of 80 million. We have already surplus 60 million kina this year. Last year was 60 million collected, and we hope to improve that. So that is improving the efficiency of land in one aspect only, Mr. Assistant Speaker, on the collections of us. And if you look at a whole of perspective, the total that the Lands Department contributes to collections at this point in time, including stamp duties and other associated costs, Mr. Assistant Speaker, now collects 170 million kina in total. 170 million kina. That never used to be collected before, because we have now improved on the electronic processes, we have improved on that, and as pointed out by Governor Jufa, is that immigration has undergone the same transformation, and the long lines of standing, Mr. Assistant Speaker, are now shortened, and you can apply for a visa online. You can apply for a visa online and get it returned for you under the space of 2 minutes. It's a first. It's faster than you can get it in Australia, faster than anywhere else in the Pacific region. And that is all homegrown, home designed, and everything done here internally. We don't say much, but we try to put our heads down and work, Mr. Assistant Speaker. The electronic platforms Mr. Assistant Speaker, I'd like to commend to this House that it is an important thing, and whole of government should be working towards that. We are currently working at ensuring procurement systems are done electronically, and that will be rolled out in all aspects of government. For the ILG, I share the same concerns, Mr. Assistant Speaker, and I would like to inform the House that I have issued instructions 2 weeks ago to hold all ILGs until we go through the system. But I share the concerns. It is being abused at the moment with the ILG system. And I have instructed that that be held until we review the system, sitting in consultation with our parliamentary committee chairman to ensure that we find a direct, better way of doing business and assisting our people doing it properly. So that is something that the Lands Department will undertake to find a system that improves and a system that helps our little people, and it's not abused by a lot of our people. It's abused solely by a lot of educated people. Naisa working online di miloples isinaun karangi lo giraun dongol. Mr. Assistant Speaker, the amendments to the Act are to protect our people. They are not to be abused. They are here to, I'd like to assure this House that it's to protect our people, and further consultation or amendments to any acts will be circulated, as the Honourable Sepuka pointed out, will be circulated for your input into this. Mr. Speaker, Assistant Speaker, I think that is all from my end, and I would like to say thank you to everyone else, and looking forward to working together in cohesion to ensure that we do the amendments to protect our people. A final one, Mr. Assistant Speaker, was pointed out on the Fijian model. The Fijian model, Mr. Assistant Speaker. That model is good. It is good, but I didn't have the opportunity to visit Fiji, but I had all these good stories about what this model was being done in Fiji. So last year I took it upon myself to go to Fiji for the first time in my life. I went down there and I had a look at the systems there. I had a look at the systems. Whilst the model is advocated to be good, I don't think it is best suited to our people in Papua New Guinea, because it also takes away powers of land ownership from our ordinary simple people and puts it, the same thing, into the hands of a few elites that when you go to Fiji, a lot of these elites, you don't see, you go down to Tarama, for example. You go to the Tarama, you have mansions being built at Tarama. You have really good houses being built in our villages and stuff. In Fiji, you can't do that. When you come here, the ordinary person has absolute traditional rights to build a house wherever it feels like, suppose in Pablo ground. And those things we should be looking at whilst trying to emulate the Fiji model. We should look at it so that we do not risk alienating our people and putting power over land into the hands of a few elites in our customary system. It will become similar like the ILG system. So we've got to find a mix, a middle ground that I'm certain we can find, working in close consultation and advice with the chairman of a parliamentary land committee to ensure that we find the middle ground so that we can find the best possible route or platform for our people to utilize their land. One day, Mr. Assistant Speaker, mito thank you through the House, and thank you for supporting this bill. Thank you too much.
The question is that the bill be now read a third time. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. Clerk.
Third reading. A bill for an act to amend the Land Act 1996 and for related purposes.
Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Lands. Clerk.
Notice number 56, 156, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Lands and Immigration.
Deputy Prime Minister, Minister for Lands and Physical Planning.
Mr. Speaker, I present the Survey Amendment Bill 2025.
Clerk.
First reading, a bill for an act to amend the Survey Act, Chapter 95, and for related purposes.
Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Lands and Physical Planning.
Mr. Speaker, I ask leave of Parliament to move the second reading forthwith.
Is leave granted? Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Lands and Physical Planning.
Mr. Speaker, I move that the bill be now read a second time.
Make your speech.
Mr. Assistant Speaker, I take note the Parliament referred to my previous speech already said that covers this.
The question is that the question be now put. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. The question is that the bill be now read the second time. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. Clerk.
Second reading, a bill for an act to amend the Survey Act, Chapter 95, and for related purposes.
Deputy Prime Minister, Minister for Lands and Physical Planning.
Mr. Speaker, I ask leave of Parliament to move the third reading forthwith.
Is leave granted? Minister for Lands and Physical Planning and Deputy Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I move that the bill be now read a third time.
The question is that the question be now put. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. The question is that the bill be now read a third time. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. Clerk.
Third reading, a bill for an act to amend the Survey Act, Chapter 95, and for related purposes.
Clerk.
Notice number 157, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Lands and Immigration.
Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Lands and Physical Planning.
Mr. Speaker, I present the Survey Coordination Amendment Bill 2025.
Mr. Clerk.
First reading, a bill for an act to amend the Survey Coordination Act, Chapter 203, and for related purposes.
Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Lands and Physical Planning.
Mr. Speaker, I ask leave of Parliament to move the second reading forthwith.
Is leave granted? Leave granted, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Lands.
Mr. Speaker, I move that the bill be now read a second time.
Make your speech.
Mr. Speaker, I'd like Parliament to take note of the speech I already made, which covers this also.
The question is that the question be now put. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. The question is that the bill be now read a second time. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. Deputy Prime Minister and Mr. Lands, Mr. Clark.
Second reading, a bill for an act to amend the Survey Coordination Act, Chapter 203, and for related purposes.
Deputy Prime Minister and Mr. Lands and Physical Planning.
Mr. Speaker, I ask leave of Parliament to move the third reading forthwith.
Is leave granted? Leave granted. Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Lands.
Mr. Speaker, I move that the bill be now read a third time.
The question is that the question be now put. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. The question is that the bill be now read a third time. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. Mr. Clerk.
Third reading, a bill for an act to amend the Survey Coordination Act, Chapter 203, and for related purposes.
Mr. Clerk.
Notice number 158, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Lands and Immigration.
Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Lands and Fiscal Planning.
Mr. Speaker, I present the Valuation Amendment Bill 2025.
Mr. Clerk.
First reading, a bill for an act to amend the Valuation Act, Chapter 227, and for related purposes.
Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Lands.
Mr. Speaker, I ask leave of Parliament to move the second reading forthwith.
Is leave granted? Leave granted. Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Lands.
Mr. Speaker, I move that the bill be now read a second time.
Make your speech.
Mr. Speaker, I'd like Parliament to take note of the previous speech said, which covers this also.
The question is that the question be now put. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. The question is that the bill be now read a second time. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. Mr. Clerk.
Second reading, a bill for an act to amend the Valuation Act, Chapter 327, and for related purposes.
Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Lands.
Mr. Speaker, I ask leave of Parliament to move the third reading forthwith.
Is leave granted? Leave granted. Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Lands.
Mr. Speaker, I move that the bill be now read a third time.
The question is that the question be now put. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. The question is that the bill be now read a third time. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. Mr. Clerk.
A bill, third reading, a bill for an act to amend the Valuation Act, Chapter 327, and for related purposes.
Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Lands. Oh, sorry. Mr. Clerk.
Notice number 159, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Lands and Immigration.
Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Lands.
Mr. Speaker, I present the Land Registration Amendment Bill 2025.
Mr. Clerk.
First reading, a bill for an act to amend the Land Registration Act, Chapter 191, and for related purposes.
Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Lands.
Mr. Speaker, I ask leave of Parliament to move the second reading forthwith.
Is leave granted? Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Lands.
Mr. Speaker, I move that the bill be now read a second time.
Make your speech.
Mr. Speaker, I'd like to ask Parliament to take note of the speech already made that covers all of this.
I see we have questions been put, but there's a minister who wants to debate.
Thank you,
Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Like to thank you, long Deputy Prime Minister, Minister of Lands and Fiscal Planning, and Minister of Immigrations. No good amendment that may come through. Taking cue long. Plenty of debate opinions na debate where Prime Minister come up him. As you may go inside long, step inside the next 50 years of our nation's history. Mr. Speaker, I may like to thank you. No, Deputy Prime Minister, look, Simon, this amendment he come. Plan the debate, and me go straight. I may one bill all get a debate. Mr. Speaker, while me deal with this Land Registration Act 1981, me like talk of some country blame me binding up facing this problem on the ground now. Suppose you may be in a country been allowing this land mobilization and need long Macquarie government. It been trying to come up in 1999, it come along 2000 year 2000. Plenty of NGOs have been kissing cranky. Now only going to protest them. Plenty lives, long students been lose on this time. Plenty misleading statements. Only misleading country blow you mean. If suppose you may be allowing this time, but you look at David no ground today. Idea of this time no land reform. No helping Papa ground, no raise telling ground law so that they can become a bankable document. And because of some NGOs only grabbing more run tintin at the World Bank by comes in ground blue mean IMF by comes in ground blue. Cranky tintin. By me no got dispute law said me Papa true Papa ground. But anyway, Mr. Speaker, what me like talk law today, number one something. I mean like him Lands Minister, he must take serious note law this plan. Well, 99-year lease he been come up before law independence law you mean. Time all is not land lease and me expire. He must go back to Papa ground. He must go back to Papa ground. State in Ogan Kisim na salimidol foreigners. Consultation must take place. Time 99-year lease where you been come up before the independence and be expire, go back to Papa ground. Talk to good law, only like making one and this ground. Me line him also, plan the laws for 99-year lease. Lands Department, we sell in law foreigners. Even you may yet, you may simply ground nothing. You may not consult on the Papa ground law, when them land use plan, only got law in. And you must stop now. You must stop now. Time when them ground and me expire 99-year lease and me come up, go back. Lord Papa ground, consult on them all, ask him, like na tintin law, when I'm something like making the display ground. Salim traditional ground, and you may talk to police. But I know got no sale law, traditional ground, you go law, not law line, whether Papua New Guinea or foreigner. Suppose ground, only Salim police, he must go back to Papa ground. One bla man or one bla Mary, no can go around and talk the same ground, Lumin and Salim ground. Consultation must come up one time, clan group, properly, before any transaction or ground can come up. Not something. Me surprise, Mr. Speaker. Plenty of foreigner only on him ground, no country blow you mean. Auna only on him ground, no country blow you mean. Now you mean you know not go na buy him ground, no country blow hole. Me like talk also. While me no like discouraging foreign investment no country, any business lo buy come up lo ground must be done in partnership. One time government blow me or one time Papa ground. Foreigner must not get on him ground lo country blow me outright. And must stumble. He must work him long, make sure that any foreigner like making business lawyer must be done in partnership. Now, me like him too, also time he may go forward the next 50 years. There should be no more 99-year lease no country believe me. Whether along special agricultural lease or any form of lease. Because we will not live to see the 99-year lease and by expire. Suppose you may work in oil palm. And while on oil palm, all get us 99-year lease, example in West New Britain, time and expire must go back to Papa ground. So from here on, time we may like work in lease, no, special agricultural lease, and we must no life no this project. Example, suppose you may plant in oil palm life got about 35 years. Lease may must start 40 years. Give him 5-year gap. No developer by renegotiating not lease can want the proper ground. There should be no more 99-year lease. No country blue you mean. Mr. Acting Speaker, sorry, Mr. Speaker, plenty time, me looking, you may complain of ground with me. Ground and life with me. Time me, you may come to discuss land issues or country blue me. Land may become a big ground, big issue in our country. Me looking plenty of 11 centers. All settlers will come inside. Only take over the ground or public ground. Now you mean what control land? Me like me or member of the parliament must take responsibility. Kind of some of animal green. Me setting aside some of the money. We go on public ground or only start registering ground law. Plenty time you may talk about some more, you may Larimol public ground or let it go. But you may must take responsibility, take leadership, helping more public ground. Plenty all look at money. Using DSI people in me. Using PSI people in me. Helping more public ground or registering ground law so that only can use in this plan of making business. So, Mr. Speaker, I'm more legally talk me like make him, but me like him also, Mr. Speaker, on 99-year lease, no before I come, time me 99-year lease me come up, and must go back to public ground. Going forward, we must look at more 99-year lease. You may look at more silent ground law, all foreigners. You must stop him. Plenty as well come up the Lands Department. You must take him go through Lands Department. A more big issue. You may talk. You may can come to debate lawyer, but suppose you may not fix him on institutions plus state law, you may. Then more everybody stop here. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Your Minister of State Enterprise.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Rise to commend our good Deputy Prime Minister, Mr. Lands, for bringing this much-needed amendments to the legislation, the different legislations. Mr. Speaker, in this country, we as a developing country need foreign investment. And for those who want to invest here, they want to be sure that any title that they are given, whether it be agricultural lease or even a state lease upon which they can build, for example, the titles themselves must be indefeasible, meaning that when they have a title on the face of it, no one should challenge it. And if titles have been obtained by fraud, then they can be set aside. For too long, we've had instances where in our very own land department, investors and even our own business people have been issued 3 or 4 different titles over the same land. And fortunately for all of us, under the leadership of our Deputy Prime Minister, this has slowly been improved and changed. And now what you see is that when you get a title from the Lands Department, you will know that there is only the only one title that you are receiving. So things look good for us. And Mr. Speaker, before the Land Act was passed in 1996, prior to the Land Act coming into force in 1996, all vacant land in this country belonged to the state. All vacant land, except those who were being cultivated and which were being hunted upon by our people. They were known as rights which our people had. But all vacant land belonged to our people, and that made it easier for developers to come in and to explore and to bring development. But these days we are beginning to see, for example, Mr. Speaker, where there is an element or there is an announcement that an oil discovery or prospecting is being done, all of a sudden you see people who emerge out of nowhere to claim to be landowners. And they cause issues for those investors to spend all their shareholders' money to pay for exploration costs. And in the case of mining and oil, for example, Mr. Speaker, it is not easy for one to spend money investing or exploring for things that cannot be found unless you are God. It means that you are actually risking shareholders' money. So it is good that we have this regime where foreign investors especially were able to raise money from the stock exchange and come here to invest. But they must, when doing so, they must know that they will not be interfered by so-called landowners who turn up unexpectedly and make claims and make it difficult for investors. So there is a need for it. There is indeed a delicate balancing act that we have to take into account. Those are the challenges that are facing us. But in the case of a 99-year lease, in Australia, all land belongs to the Crown. It is different here. In many ways, there are disadvantages with the system we have in here. But the fact that of those alienated land, only 3% of the land have state land, they begin to accrue or accumulate value over the years. But having a 99-year lease forms the basis of this country. Without a 99-year lease, and if we were to allow all the land to go back to our people upon the expiry of the 99-year lease, most of the towns will go back to the bushes. For example, from where I come from in Agen, my tribe is the owner of at least 50% of the land on which the city is located. If the land were to be given back to my tribe upon the expiry of the 99-year lease, I wonder what we will do with it. That is the question as leaders we have to bear in mind. 99-year leases that we have in our country form the basis of civilization and towns and cities. If a 99-year lease were to be withdrawn or given back to the landowners, you will not have a township of Aitape or Vanimo. Everything will go back to the bushes. We must be aware of that. And those leases will not go back to the owners, because at the time the land was acquired, whether it through normal acquisition or through force, the landowners at that time are no longer around. So you would be expecting someone who's not really a landowner to get that land. At that time, the landowner at that time sold the land to the colonial administration. So those are the difficulties we're having. But Mr. Speaker, my suggestion is that somewhere down the line, all of us leaders need to ask ourselves whether we should go back to the system or the situation that existed in 1996, and that is to allow land, vacant land, which are not being cultivated by our people, which are not being used frequently for hunting purposes or ceremonial purposes, whether they should be given back to the state so that they can be used properly for development purposes. But I say it because it can be done only on the basis that the leaders who will come before us will be honest and strong leaders who will make sure there is equality in the way that land acquisition or disposal is dealt with. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The question is that the question be now put. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. The question is that the bill be now read a second time. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. Mr. Clerk.
Second reading. A bill for an act to amend the Land Registration Act, Chapter 191, and for related purposes.
Deputy Prime Minister and Mr. Fullens.
Mr. Speaker, I ask leave of Parliament to move the third reading forthwith.
Is leave granted? Leave granted. Deputy Prime Minister and Mr. Fullens.
Mr. Speaker, I move that the bill be now read a third time.
The question is that the question be now put. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. The question is that the bill be now read a third time. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. Mr. Clerk.
Third reading. A bill for an act to amend the Land Registration Act, Chapter 191, and for related purposes.
Mr. Clerk.
Notice number 160, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Lands and Immigration.
Deputy Prime Minister and Mr. Fullens.
Mr. Speaker, I present the Physical Planning Amendment Bill 2025.
Mr. Clerk.
First reading, a bill for an act to amend the Physical Planning Act 1989 and for related purposes.
Deputy Prime Minister and Mr. Folens.
Mr. Speaker, I'll ask leave of Parliament to move the second reading forthwith.
Is leave granted? Leave granted. Deputy Prime Minister and Mr. Folens.
Mr. Speaker, I move that the bill be now read a second time.
Make your speech.
Mr. Speaker, Parliament take note of the previous speech that encompasses everything.
The question is that the question be now put. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. The question is that the bill be now read a second time. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. Mr. Clerk.
Second reading, a bill for an act to amend the Physical Planning Act 1989 and for related purposes.
Deputy Prime Minister and Mr. Folens.
Mr. Speaker, I ask leave of Parliament to move the third reading forthwith.
Is leave granted? Leave granted. Deputy Prime Minister and Mr. Folens.
Mr. Speaker, I move that the bill be now read a third time, and I would like to make a comment. Mr. Speaker, taking into account the support that the bills have given, I'd like to say thank you to Parliament for supporting the bills. I would also like to make a comment in regard to the land registration bill and the 99-year lease that was expounded on earlier. I'd like to support Minister Duma, who made the comments earlier, and explain to Parliament on the misconception of the 99-year lease. The 99-year lease that we have adopted under the torrent system from Australia is a lease. When it was acquired by our forefathers, the land was acquired outright. The lease is from government to whoever business or developers want to develop that lease. So the 99-year lease has been misconstrued a little bit. So to clarify that, the lease returns to the original owner, which is government, who owns it outright. Why I say this also, Mr. Speaker, to clarify it, we need to ensure that we protect the leases to be bankable. The leases need to be protected at all costs. Imagine if Port Moresby, the Parliament we sit on, was returned and a 99-year lease expired. What would happen? Imagine all the businesses in Papua New Guinea that hold 99-year leases. What would happen? We would destroy the very fabric of our society and the very fabric of our nation, Mr. Speaker. The 3% that we hold in trust is to protect development, business, and to ensure that the banks hold this as guarantee, as bankable titles. That is why the economy revolves around it. But there is a way, Mr. Speaker, to move forward. And that is a way that we can work in cohesion with our people, working in partnership with our people, for them to work together towards the future, to negotiate for them, for state to acquire the lands exactly like what we did in Tuhava, utilizing the Section 10 and also working with some of the proposals put forward by the Parliamentary Committee Chairman, the Honourable Keith Idu, to find a middle ground that we can work and make our landowners also benefit from bankable titles, and to at the same time give, Mr. Speaker, give confidence to businesses. No businesses will come and invest if they have no guarantee on security of title. That is a fact that we cannot disregard. So it is the state's role, the state's ownership to ensure that we protect those titles so that we do not let our country dissolve into anarchy because of complaints, of disputes over alienated lease titles. State has to protect this at all costs to ensure that these titles are bankable and these titles are utilized for business and development in our nation. It is not an easy decision, but it has to be done so that we can protect further investment for the security and the very fabric of society that we sit on. Mr. Speaker, thank you.
The question is that the question be now put. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. The question is that the bill be now read a third time. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. Mr. Clerk.
Third reading, a bill for an act to amend the Fiscal Planning Act 1989 and for related purposes.
Mr. Clerk.
Notice number 160, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Lands and Immigration.
Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Lands.
Mr. Speaker, I present the Nazab Land Development Authority Bill 2025.
Mr. Clerk.
First reading, a bill for an act to provide for the creation of the Nazab Land Development Authority to administer the land acquired under the Land Act 1996 for the Nazab Land Development and for related purposes.
Deputy Prime Minister and Mr. Folan.
Mr. Speaker, I ask leave of Parliament to move the second reading forthwith.
Is leave granted? Leave granted. Deputy Prime Minister and Mr. Folan.
Mr. Speaker, I move that the bill be now read a second time.
Make your speech.
Mr. Speaker and members of this Honourable House, it gives me great pleasure to present to you the proposed Nazab Land Development Bill 2025, a significant legislative initiative that seeks to transform the landscape of land development in our country and to build one of the first towns that we have ever built since independence. Mr. Speaker, the Nazab Land Development Bill 2025 implements National Executive Council Decision number 226 of 2023, which approved the National Land Partnership Policy Framework and identified the Nazab Township development as a pilot project under this framework. Mr. Speaker, this policy framework emphasizes the essential role of the private sector and the mobilization of land under various tenure arrangements, including state leases, freehold land, and customary land. This bill is an important step towards creating a conducive environment for private investment in land development. Mr. Speaker and honourable members, the current legal regime is inadequate for the development of towns and cities. It does not provide a dedicated mechanism for coordinated land allocation, physical planning, or the construction of trunk infrastructure necessary for modern township development. There is a pressing need for specific legislation to bridge this gap. Mr. Speaker, the Nazab Land Development Bill I present today draws inspiration from the Gazelle Restoration Authority, which oversaw the development of the now Kokopo town, following the unfortunate twin volcanic eruptions that destroyed the once beautiful town of Rabaul. Mr. Speaker, the Nazab Land Development Bill seeks to establish the Nazab Land Development Authority, a corporate legal entity that will spearhead the development of the land under the project area. This authority will have the power to prepare a master plan, scope, design, construct essential trunk infrastructure such as roads, power, water, sewage, drainage systems, and ensure development of the Nazab land into a town. Mr. Speaker, the key features of the Nazab Land Development Authority Bill are as follows. The authority will lead land development, not township governance. It will hand it over once its job's completed. Working under a master plan, working in cohesion with the relevant district authority and the provincial government who are part and parcel of this. Development will be private sector led, with the state playing only a facilitative role by providing the legislative framework. No government budget funding will be required to develop this town of that capacity. Private sector investment and support from development partners will fund the authority's operations. The authority will have powers to recommend land allocation, will oversee the planning and construction of infrastructure to create service land for industrial, commercial, residential, and other uses. And the authority will oversee the development of the land, after which a separate municipal authority will take over the governance and administration of the township. Something similar to Tuhava, but on a grander scale. Mr. Speaker, the composition of the board, which is largely private sector, reflects the NEC's emphasis on private sector participation, given the critical role the private sector will play in funding, designing, and constructing the required infrastructure. It will also have representatives from the provincial administration and the district administration. Mr. Speaker, the authority is designed as a project-based mechanism and will cease to exist once its objectives have been fully accomplished. The decision to wind up the authority will rest with the board, ensuring a practical and efficient closure once all development activities have been completed. Mr. Speaker and honourable members, the Nazab Land Development Bill 2025 will provide a model for future land development initiatives across Papua New Guinea, thinking outside the box, offering a practical framework for mobilizing land, cutting through numerous red tape, and attracting private investment to meet our growing demand for service land for manufacturing, commercial, industrial, residential, and agricultural purpose. Mr. Speaker, I submit to have a report to Parliament in 18 months from the commencement of this law, with the view to draw lessons to inform the development of a legislative framework that will be applicable nationwide once this project is done. With that, I commend on the proposed amendments to the Nazab Land Development Bill to the Honourable House, and in accordance with the standing orders, open the debate. Mr. Speaker, thank you.
The Honourable Member for Abao.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Also wish to commend the Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Lands for this another important initiative. Obviously, doing things differently in the 21st century with regards to land is also very important, and that's the way the country should move. Having made reference during his statement, the Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Lands with the Gazelle Restoration Authority, I also value the concept of Gazelle Restoration Authority. I think the independence of such authorities is very, very important. But at the same time, I am of a very strong opinion that these are still public bodies. These are still public bodies. And so I wish to raise some concerns on particularly Section 8, which is the membership of the board. And Section 16, the application of other acts. I raise concerns on Section 8 on the membership of the board. There are from reading on the membership, there are 7 members of the board. 2 are ex-officio, one is a secretary for lands, and one is a provincial administrator. However, the representatives of multilateral and bilateral concerns me. Why are development partners brought into this equation? what's the value of excluding our own people to be part of, like the Gazelle Restoration Authority. They were made up of Papua New Guineans who led surveyors, geotechs, architects, engineers, etc., etc. But the composition of the board, for me, for the first time, that a national board is bringing in development partners, both multilateral and bilateral. I don't think this is the way we should structure these important so-called public bodies in the name of pure public, private input on the development of this public property called Nazab land. And so I raised a concern, Mr. Speaker, why is the Minister recommending to the Honorable House to have representative of the multilateral partners who has demonstrated keen interest in developing the land, nominated by the Minister. And then 3 representatives of the partner developers, one of whom, and so there is 5 development partners in the board and just 2 nationals. What's the rationale for this, Mr. Speaker? I strongly recommend the Minister to go back and relook at this composition of this board. Why are we bringing development partners? They've got other duties to do. You can bring in private sector, yes, but not multilateral and bilateral partners. Why is the Minister recommending to the Honorable House? Out of the 7, 5 of them are from the multilateral and bilateral partners. Where are the private sector? So I raise grave concern of the composition, Mr. Speaker. I strongly recommend that the Minister re-looks at this. I don't think my multilateral and bilateral partners should be in the boards of Papua New Guinea public organizations. They got their own roles to play. Particularly for them to be politicized through the appointment by the Minister. That's the first argument that I have against this bill, particularly the composition of the board, bringing in multilateral and bilateral partners in the board rather than private sector. The Minister has rightly said it should be a purely private sector development program, but in the board, only no stuff. It's multilateral and bilateral. Why are we doing that? Section 16 is my second argument, and that is the application of other acts. I know the act is that there is no funds coming from the public at all, but you know, when we established Kumul Petroleum Holdings Limited, the state is struggling to hold it accountable because they are not subject to the acts that are listed here, like this board that we are saying. That the acts do not apply to this authority are Public Finance Management Act, National Procurement Act, Salaries and Conditions Monitoring Act, and Public Service Management Act. I think the best example was the Gazelle Restoration Authority. I think that should be emulated in this bill rather than just by word on the structure of the law and not a kind game. So, Mr. Speaker, I raise concerns. The principle is okay, We need this authority to take charge of the Nazab development of the city. But I know that there are still issues of the land issues, etc., which way the planning should go, etc. We cannot allow this one board to act, and then eventually when things go wrong, they run into the state, to the government to sort themselves out. And so I raise grave concerns, particularly on those two matters. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Honourable Governor from Morobe.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Once again, I thank you for the leave you grant for me to speak on this very important bill sponsored by the Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Lands and Planning in this country. Before I proceed with the debate, I want to sincerely congratulate Honourable Donald James, who has been conspicuously clear in the Parliament in opposing any matters of concern raised by the government. And you have been good, and I think you have been awarded, and rightly awarded. And I'm solely in that position. You will continue to be, but in this time, probably more constructive, intelligent, and your opposition will be valued in this Parliament. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I will speak in support of the bill presented by the Minister. Minister, this bill has not come about because of your initial action initially, but it has come about because of the decision of the Morobe provincial government, which I lead. The Morobe provincial government, mandated by constitutional law, on behalf of the people of Morobe, made a decision. They made a decision to shift the administrative and political capital from Lae to Nazab. And of course, we had a debated argument, heated argument in the Tutuma, but at the end, the proposal prevailed. We supported wholeheartedly that the proposal for capital to shift, administrative capital and political capital to shift to Nazab must stand. So, and Mr. Speaker, there are many, many good reasons, but I will only state few. Lae City, Mr. Speaker, is purely industrial city at the very core of the city, but at the periphery of that city is surrounded and inhabited by settlers. And those land in the periphery of the city of Lae is owned by customary land. And the principle of humanity, Mr. Speaker, exists in the customary land. The people from Morobe all over the 10 districts migrating to Lae in search of employment, in search of providing receiving medication and other things, a business or search activity. They migrate into Lae. And Mr. Speaker, they have no land to reside in Lae because the core land of Lae City is a state land. It's a state land. And as we know, Mr. Speaker, it's not easy to acquire state land. You have to show the land board that you have a sufficient capacity to develop whatever state land that has been granted to you. And our people, and not just the Morobe people, Mr. Speaker, people from all over Papua New Guinea, reach by road or by air, they come to Lae because Lae is right in the center of this country, right in the center of the country. Without being boastful, that's the fact. They come in there. Is it accessible by road? Is it accessible by sea transport and air transport? So they come in, and because they have difficulty to acquire state land, they live around the periphery of the Lae City. And to build a city of Lae, extend building of city of Lae, be it in industry, be it in commerce, be it in government, be it in sales, whatever that might be, Mr. Speaker, you want to move forward, you'll be blocked. That is why and they are human beings. They are the fellows who sent us to give us the constitutional mandate to come to Parliament or to come to any system of government in this country. And we have to respect the source of the mandate. We have to respect the difficulty our people are facing. And we cannot develop the city by pushing our people and bulldozing them around like chickens. No, we have to treat them with respect. But, Mr. Speaker, the land up at Nazab Labin Nachap, at the periphery of the Nazab Tomadasi International Airport, there's sufficient land around the Nachap, sufficient land for development. And not just the Nachap to this side of the Wara Erap, but on the other side of the Wara Erap, there's a potential, the vacant land there, along the highway, all the way up to Waterise and Ramu, there is sufficient land to develop, whatever development that may be, Mr. Speaker. So, and then Nachap accommodates the international airport, Tomadasi Nachap International Airport. There's a potential, Mr. Speaker, that many international community will be coming to Nachap, either coming and landing or taking off from Nachap. And the population or people coming in, people going out, and all the activities that will take place by virtue of people coming, exposing themselves and seeing whatever around in the Nachap, around Morobe province, will increase, Mr. Speaker. And therefore, and there is a potential, Mr. Speaker, that we're thinking of, some scientists, some engineers have advised us that we can dig the sand out and take the sea right to Nachap. We can do it. The technology can enable us to do it. So not only do we come to Lae Airport to export or to import, or dealing with any things on the sea, or dealing with sea, but we can take the sea up to Nachap. That is the plan, and with the latest technology, the technology we've got, and more being created and invented, we can make this thing happen. So Lae City, the Nazab City, proposed Nazab City, is going to be the biggest city. And I think the Prime Minister, Honorable James Morobe, when I invited you, you supported this idea when we came to Lae. I supported you fully. And you assured me that you're going to help me. If there's any land that needs to be purchased, you're going to support me. And the provincial headquarters need to be built. The infrastructure to oust the provincial headquarters, you're going to help me, help the government of Morobe. And I thank you. And Deputy Prime Minister, you take note of that. Your electorate is possession connected to the UN Gov electorate, which the Nazab Tomadasi International Airport is. So, Mr. Speaker, both of you have supported it, and I thank you. You took the matter to the National Executive Council. You just didn't talk and leave it there. You took it to the National Executive Council and get it approved for the development of new township in Nachap. I thank you, Mr. Deputy Prime Minister and the Prime Minister, and the NEC which made this decision. Mr. Speaker, we in the Morobe Provincial Government are now planning to move the capital physically, establish the Turumang building in Nachap, and physically administrative block and land in Nachap, so that we can accommodate and oust the administrative and political headquarters of Morobe in Nachap. And now, what it seems now is that when the international airport was developed, Mr. Speaker, was announced, now we have so many passengers, Mr. Speaker, not just the Morobians. I'm just so happy. So many the Highlanders, so many the Sipiks and the Medang people coming and landing and coming into Nachap. Even the New Guinea Island people are coming to get the plane from Nachap to the final destination. That is what is happening. So many people are traveling between Lae and Port Moresby. If the Lae Nazab International Airport actually came to realization, we don't need to come to Port Moresby. Many people will take off from Lae. But I hope and I dream, I'm positive that all of those dreams will come to realization. Coming back to the bill, debate on the bill, I note points made by Dr. Puka Kemu on the Constitution of who should be in the board. I note that, your argument is salient. I note that argument, and I'm sure the minister. This is a very valid point, and not and we must make sure that the authority, whatever authority we establish, must take into account the interest of Papua New Guinea. This is our country, whatever board that may be. We must have, Mr. Speaker, our people there. Our people there. We can trust the foreigners, yeah, we can trust them, yeah, but sometimes we give them more trust, or we give them whatever degree of trust, they can take, they do something not to our liking. So I think Dr. Temo's comment in relation to the constitution of the board must be seriously taken. And I'm sure you're already working pretty hard, and I appreciate your action is taking into account the opposition that has been put, the rebuttal that has been put. As long as it's genuine, they must be taken into account. And I think just the administrator, as a representative of the Morobe provincial government in there, maybe you should include, maybe the next, you introduce a bill, supplementary bill, so that we can have maybe one provincial member in there. All the rest, I'm not disputing with you. I can understand, maybe in the SADO, Mr. Speaker, in the SADO, you have a big plan. I can see that. You have a big plan to involve the international community, the expert, people who have technology, people who are intelligent, people who have who are expert in whatever field they might have. They will surely come. And we need them. We need them. They will surely come. And I'm sure you have in the SADO those fellows who are coming to assist you, and can, as you state in that proposed section, to provide the constitution of the board members, that multilateral people will come in, a representative of the multilateral companies will come in, and bilateral representative will come in. In as much as we have them there, we need to have some our people in there. Not just Tom, Dick, and Harry, but people with substance. People with substance are coming. But I can see eventually you will have that amended for the good, as Dr. Temu proposes. So that's that. And quite right, he told Section 16, proposed Section 16 needs to be looked at. We cannot restrict it. We cannot say those acts will not come into application. We cannot say that because, of course, Public Management Act and all those acts, but they all come together. We have a government institution in this country which are regulated, and those working in the government institution, they are also subject to those laws. Therefore, and they, one way or the other, we will need them. So I don't think you should strictly restrict, ban the implementation of those or the utility of those acts that you proposed in the draft bills, Section 16. Otherwise, Mr. Acting Speaker, I can see the functions of the board provided, Mr. Speaker, provided for under Section 5, the functions of the board, what the board is going to do. I see those functions well set out, and I am in full concurrence, Mr. Speaker. I'm in full concurrence with the functions of the board. I'm in full concurrence. And then, Mr. Speaker, I see the power of the members of the board. I've already said that. And then Mr. Speaker, and also I can see that these people are going to come and help us to plan, to put the necessary infrastructure there, which you mentioned also in the draft bill. All the infrastructure is there, roads and water and drainage and all the infrastructures that need to be put in to make sure that they qualify, Mr. Speaker, qualify as a township or as a city. You got them all covered in there. And Mr. Speaker, I think that the foreigners, surely we need them. Surely we need them. We'll check them and have them, and they will help us to make sure that all the infrastructure we need in there, in the land. Mr. Speaker, I know, Mr. Speaker, that that the good minister, you have issued a declaration under the Land Act to acquire certain land in the vicinity of the land in question, state land plus the customary land. You issued a compulsory acquisition, not just for your good, Mr. Speaker, for your minister, and for the good of the Morobe province. It's good for the country, good for the proposed township. Unfortunately, the National Court and the Supreme Court came hard on you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Minister, we will continue to fight them. We'll continue to fight them. But good thing, Mr. Speaker, very good thing, is the landowners, the Olognalo landowners, customary landowners of those land at the Nazab, the Olognalo land, the landowners, they have come to talk to me. We had a couple of meetings, Mr. Speaker, and they are willing to provide their customary land for us to be used to accommodate the new township at Nazab. And I'm very thankful for them that they have done. And provincial government has proposed agreement, Mr. Speaker, proposed agreement with the landowners, and we agreed. We're going to sign the agreement next week. I already gave you a copy of that draft agreement to you. We're going to sign that agreement that they're going to lease their land, provide those land, and the provincial government will pay for the survey of those land, customary land, and also for the fees for valuation. And we're going to help them, Mr. Speaker, to register their land. And we agreed in the draft agreement that, Mr. Speaker, we're going to agree to meet all the costs of the survey and registration of those land, the value of that land, and the provincial government will, of course, Prime Minister has made a commitment, and I will hope that he will help us to pay those landowner who are going to provide those land. And we're going to, and we agreed, Mr. Speaker, we have agreed that this land will be registered, not under the provincial government, not under anybody. All those land, we're going to help them to do the survey and do the evaluation. All of those customary land will be registered in their name. Will be registered in their name. And they will own it, and they will lease it to the government of Papua New Guinea or whoever is interested, particularly to the government of Papua New Guinea and Morobe provincial government. The lease, we proposed that it would be 999-year lease, not 99-year lease, no, Mr. Speaker. It's 999-year lease. The similar lease, Mr. Speaker, that was entered into with the territory government in 1972 when the Olognalo clan, Mr. Speaker, Olognalo clan, they leased their land to the territory of Papua New Guinea government for 999-year lease for the Nazab Airport. And we used the same concept, and we used the same lease term. So I'm so very thankful. Now, Kadri, you yet blow this place, no Nazab. And so I'm sure your people will be very receptive to all the proposals that you're going to put, not me, but yourself. But I'm your country, I'm begging you up from the back. Thank you. And I have already seen so many Papua New Guineans residing there at Nazab now. Even we have not put a political headquarters there, Mr. Speaker, and the administrative headquarters there, and all other infrastructure necessary to provide social services and whatever service to the people who are coming to Nazab, Mr. Speaker. We have not, but some Papua New Guineans, like member for Jimmy, no member for North Waki, is a permanent resident man in Nazab, so he's already become a Nazab. He's already a man from Nazab, and is developing his land in a bigger way. It's providing the cattle to the provincial government, those who want it. So I commend you, honourable member for Jimmy, for North Waki. And there are many more coming in now. I know we are vigorously challenging the Chinese and all the foreign people, but I want to state very clear before this honorable parliament, but the landowners are now on good terms with the Chinese, on good terms. They're in partnership, a partnership in the business to the utility of the land that they lease. So a big business that you see along the highway, big supermarket, and whatever that is there, don't you think that is owned only by Chinese? They're in partnership with the landowners, which is very good. At the end of the day, they can share the dividend, whatever they make. So, in as much as we are challenging the foreigners, they are all human beings, so let's be good to them, and they should be good to us, and we all be good to each other, Mr. Speaker, and develop, because we need them, Mr. Speaker, as much as we need them, and we're an international community. But, Minister, I support you, 100%. I support you for this bill.
Honorable Prime Minister.
All right. Well, Speaker, me like Toxoral or me stand up a quick summary that's all. Clearing one or two talk where you come out. This will bill Deputy Prime Minister Ikarem, we like crime law bypassing many of the impediments in regard to system law government. And you like give assurance law members of the House, if you look at what's up, Section 17. Let me talk, no direct funding shall come from the public funds. Trying to mobilizing private sector fund. Biar him think him lo Tuhava. You may walk him lo here, but in a structured way. And for the first time, you may build him one Township. Today you're going to town him got them all colonial masters limits him ground him and town him sinano. You may know set him on Nubla town, and Nazab is just no ordinary town or location. Whilst Morobe provincial headquarters by relocate, you really look at map, Rabal Nazab and Mistablo, center block country. So by the time we open this road, you may running from Lake Kamlo, Keramal, or Kamlo Sem, and Tomadasi Airport. Eventually, Nazab will be in the heart of the country, servicing New Guinea Islands, servicing Momase, servicing Highlands, and of course the southern side. And the location of Nazab coinciding with Ley, and the Ramu Valley into Makam Valley, Wafi Golpo, we want it to be the heart of commerce and business in the country, relieving Port Moresby of the congestion we have here and keeping people there. So it is really in that context. And to bypass, if you look at another provision, let me talk, housing function belong fiscal planning, a subsuming function of fiscal planning into this authority, Mr. Speaker. Today, legal fiscal planning board, take him 3-player, 4-player, 10-player just to go to fiscal planning.
We have a point of order. What is your point of order?
Point of order, Mr. Speaker. A good governor for Morobe has just disclosed to this honorable House that this will be a new city for Morobe province. It is a public city like any other city in the country. Provisions, subsection 17, and fiscal planning not been involved. They're removing the state. You cannot remove the state by law by including those provisions, section 17, and removing the Fiscal Planning Act not to be involved. That's wrong in my view, Mr. Speaker. The state entities must be involved. Just by provision of those provisions, you are removing the state. There's going to be public housing. Hospitals will be there. Police stations will be there. That's the argument I'm making. But this little provision 17 and Fiscal Planning Act not going to be, and the Public Finance Management Act not to be, give money. And then including bilaterals and multilaterals. That's a wrong argument, Mr. Speaker. The state is now pushed into the corner on what I view is a public town, city in the Morobe province, the biggest province in our country. You cannot let the state and the authorities out of this by a mere section 17 that public monies will not be used. Mr. Speaker, please get it right. Thank you.
Honorable Prime Minister.
All right, thank you, Mr. Speaker. I see the point of contention here, and again, subject to the. I think this law is not made out of sync or not incongruent with all enabling laws in our country. The process that fettered this law is probably fettered through the state process, including state solicitor and all relevant state departments that clears law. The gist of the submission that I'm making in support of the law on the table is sometimes the process we have so much become impediment and it's cumbersome in its own. We're trying to make a one-stop shop where we achieve at doing development in Nazab at the very earliest, to ring-fence the airport we have, to ring-fence the relocation and all other, the operational element in my view. There's a link to all the state presence. If you look at the provisions of membership, you still have the Morobe provincial administrator sitting, representing the province on the board. You still have the Lands Department Secretary on the board. There is a link to government and government watch and government oversight, but at the same time, allowing private sector to come in, mobilizing private sector resources with minimal, if not no state money. A classical example under the Deputy Prime Minister, you see a miniature vessel, the Tuhava project. Tuhava project with no state involvement. Our landowners have the land mobilized and investment running the place. Whatever is already state lease, under existing state lease, in my view, is protected. This one now, the authority comes into work with mobilizing all other land that is not state lease and to work towards delivering a product, in my view, a township, a city expansion that should reflect the way modern PNC should move. I give commendation to this bill to be supported. And again, just like the other law DPM has produced, if someone has a view and if the operation of this law has a teething issue with other relevant laws we have, by all means, this is not 10 Commandment. We can always come back and make changes later. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The question is that the question be now put. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. The question is that the bill be now read a second time. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. Mr. Clerk.
Second reading. A bill for an act to provide for the creation of Nazab Land Development Authority to administer the land acquired under the Land Act 1996 for Nazab land development and for related purposes.
Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Lands.
Mr. Speaker, I ask leave of Parliament to move the third reading forthwith.
Is leave granted? Leave granted. Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Lands.
Mr. Speaker, I move that the bill is now read a third time.
The question is that the question be now put. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. The question is that the bill be now read a third time. In accordance with constitutional requirements, this bill must be passed by an absolute majority of 60 members. Clerk, please ring the bell. Close the doors. The question is that the bill be now read at that time. Would those in favor please stand? Those against, please stand. Honourable members, result lo vote lo display bill. Palusat oli sapotim oli dok sapotim display bill 61 na noes 1. Congratulations, Mr. Minister. Mr. Clerk.
Third reading, a bill for an act to provide for the creation of the Nazab Land Development Authority to administer the lands acquired under the Lands Act 1996 for Nazab Land Development Nazab Land Development and for related purposes.
Government business.
Mr. Speaker, I ask leave of Parliament to move a motion without notice.
Leave granted. Leave granted. Leader of government business.
Mr. Speaker, I move that leave of absence be granted to A. Mr. Timothy Massieu, Minister for Information and Communication Technology. B. Ms. Cassie Sawang, Minister for Labour and Employment. C. Ms. Rafina Peter, Member for Central Province. D. Mr. Stanley Sambam, Member for We Work Open, for the duration of this meeting due to ill health.
Question is that the motion be agreed to. Those in favour say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. Leader of government business.
Mr. Speaker, I ask leave of Parliament to move a motion without notice.
Is leave granted? Leave granted. Leader of government business.
Mr. Speaker, I move that the leave of absence be granted to Mr. Francis Sione for the duration of this meeting due to his official travel overseas.
Question is that the motion be agreed to. Those in favour say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. Leader of government business.
Clerk.
Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, I move that Parliament do now adjourn until tomorrow at 10 o'clock a.m.
Question is that the motion be agreed to. Those in favour say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. Honourable members, the Parliament now is adjourned to 10 o'clock tomorrow morning.